One of the most consistent copyright law questions I get asked is about the fair use doctrine. So what is it and how can it help documentary filmmakers make their film? Hi, James Paccitti, entertainment attorney and production counsel in Los Angeles. The fair use doctrine is one of the most important and most misunderstood concepts under copyright law. Probably the most common beliefs regarding fair use is that a fair use is fair is just as long as you use a little bit, or it's for educational purposes, or if you're not making any money. Unfortunately, none of those beliefs standing alone is entirely accurate, which is understandable as the fair use doctrine is one of the most complicated aspects of copyright law. Fair use doctrine was made a formal part of the federal copyright statute in 1976. And the basis for it was that it was recognized that it was necessary to create a defense to infringement claims for certain kinds of uses under certain circumstances. In determining whether a use is fair, courts will look at four factors. The first factor they will look at is what is the purpose and the character of the alleged infringing use. Educational, critical criticism, parody, satire, and other artistic uses will weigh in favor of fair use. The second factor is the nature of the original work. If an artistic work is a film, a song, a painting, it's going to be treated differently than if the original work is purely commercial, such as a billboard. The third factor is the amount and substantiality of the portion taken from the original. And this factor goes to one of the common beliefs that if you only take a little, then you're okay. There's some truth to it because the less you use, the better it is in the analysis. But that in of itself is not dispositive, because you can use a little bit of a work and it be an infringement, and use a lot of a work and it not be an infringement, depending on the application of the other factors. And finally, the fourth factor is the potential impact on the market or the value of the original work. If the market for the original work is hurt, of course, that weighs against finding a fair use. What is challenging for producers is that there is no bright line, and all four factors have to be considered in determining whether or not a use is fair. But of course, filmmakers don't want to find themselves in court to figure out whether or not the use was fair. So though there are no bright lines, if documentary producers can answer yes to these three questions regarding the use of a copyright protected work, then they should be on solid ground. First, does the use of the work help clarify or support a viewpoint that you are trying to make? Second, are you only using as much of the work as is reasonably necessary to explain that viewpoint? And third, is the connection between the work you are using and the viewpoint you are trying to explain clear to the average viewer? In addition to use of this analysis, a great resource for documentary producers is the Documentary Filmmakers Statement of Best Practices of Fair Use, which is available for free online. If you are seeking to use copyright protected materials in your documentary film under the fair use doctrine, it is still prudent to consult with an experienced entertainment attorney, as the errors and omissions will likely require a legal opinion as to any materials that are being used in your project under the fair use doctrine. If you have any questions, or if you have a project you wish to discuss, don't hesitate to contact us.